Hey everybody, how's it going? It's a Daily Shooter, and today I want to talk about something that's highly debated, and that's hybrid holsters. Are they safe or are they unsafe? Let's talk about it. This channel is proud to be supported by the USCCA. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association helps responsible Americans like you prepare for what happens before, during, and after an act of lawful self-defense. USCCA members get life-saving education, expert training, plus defense liability insurance. These benefits provide more than 500,000 USCCA members with the peace of mind that they deserve. Plus, a USCCA membership is always risk-free with their 100% money-back, bulletproof guarantee. Membership is truly an investment worth exploring. Click the most important link you might click ever down below and activate your U.S. Concealed Carry Association membership now. Now, this entire video topic came about because of a post that I recently saw from Active Self-Protection. You guys probably know him here from YouTube. He also has a great Instagram page. And on his Instagram page, he posted a photo of somebody who was injured while they were holstering into a hybrid holster. Apparently, it was an Alien Gear hybrid holster, at least that's what the post says. And in that post, John from Active Self-Protection said that this is generally why he does not recommend hybrid holsters. Now, I thought about that. I started reading some of the comments, and it really did lead to some confusion from people that are currently wearing hybrid holsters. People were saying, well, is mine good? Is mine bad? And people just generally were unsure after seeing that post. So today I want to try and clear some of that up and talk about what to look for and what to stay away from when it comes to hybrid holsters, because a hybrid holster is just like any other holster. Hybrid holsters can be bad and they can be really good. Same applies for a full Kydex holster. If you have a Kydex holster and that Kydex holster is made in a way where once you insert the pistol into it, it doesn't completely cover the trigger, so that the trigger is somewhat exposed and can be depressed from the body side or the outside. It doesn't matter that it's a complete Kydex holster, that's an unsafe holster. You have some leather holsters, complete leather holsters, that are great. They are very thick, they're strong, they do not bend. I mean, you could push on them and they're not going to bend at all, and you don't really have to worry about anything getting into the trigger guard there as well, or even problems with reholstering. So there are good and bad holsters all across the board. You just have to know what to look for. So today we're going to specifically talk about the hybrid holsters, what good ones I have here and what to look for and what to stay away from. Okay, so if you're somebody out there who already owns a hybrid holster and you want to know if it's safe or if it's unsafe, or if it's a good or bad holster, pay attention. If you're somebody who's looking for a hybrid holster, also pay attention, because we're going to go over what makes a hybrid holster good or bad. Now, the first thing you want to look for when it comes to a hybrid holster is going to be the backing material. This is the most important part right here. This is the part of controversy, and that's because not all companies produce the same quality backing. Just like with a Kydex or just like with a full leather holster, you want to look for a good quality holster. Don't go for something that's universal. Those are typically the worst. Don't go for something that's budget just because it's only 19 bucks or $14.99, whatever the price is. Don't go for it just because it's cheap. We're talking about something that could be extremely bad for you and bad for other people that are around you. So it's good to spend a little bit more money and get something that's going to work the right way. But the first thing that you want to look for is a good, solid, thick leather backing. A good, solid, thick leather backing is going to keep things out of that trigger guard. They're going to keep things from depressing that trigger. They're going to keep you from having the issues like the gentleman had. So they're a nice, good, solid leather backing. Well, right now I have my 365 in here. This is actually the holster that I carry the most. And you can see that even if I push really, really, really hard, I'm not depressing anything into that trigger guard. So this is going to be on my body side right here. This is going to be, typically I wear it on my hip. I usually carry around 4 o'clock just because it's easiest for me. But I carry around 4 o'clock and nothing is going to get in there. It's a very nice, thick leather holster. Now, I don't have any incentive to say this. I'm not getting paid for this video. I don't have any sponsorships on this. As a matter of fact, my entire channel is demonetized right now, so this is just my own personal opinion. But in my own personal opinion, I think hidden hybrid holsters are going to be the best because, again, they have extremely strong leather backs. If I put this by the microphone and I tap the back here, you can hear that it's a nice, thick, very strong leather, and their front Kydex portions protect the entire trigger guard. So for me, this is what I carry with the most, these holsters right here, and they are very safe holsters. Again, you're looking for a nice strong backer. You don't want to buy anything that's universal. You don't want to buy anything that's super thin or cheap. Now, an example of cheap leather is going to be this one right here. This is cheap leather. You know, you can tell by simply playing with it. Take whatever you have in it out, okay? Make sure that you're safe, make sure that that's away, and just give it a squeeze. If it goes into the shell where you can actually push and you can see a bulge, that's not the one you're looking for. Now, maybe I should show it from this side. I think I was showing it from the other side so you guys couldn't see it completely. But again, if you already own a hybrid holster and you have something where you can simply take, I don't know, one thumb or one finger and push it almost all the way to the Kydex front, that's a bad sign. That it's a sign that you have an unsafe holster, because again, it's just cheap leather. It's not good enough to protect anything from pushing onto that trigger. So that is, to me, considered unsafe leather. Some of the most unsafe holsters, where is it here, are going to be the ones that have this type of backing right here. This is one of those, you know, this is the most comfortable holster that you can ever buy. This is, you won't even know that it's there, right? The marketing schemes are all about these holsters, but it's this breathable material on the back. It's, you know, nice and soft up against your body. But guess what? These holsters suck. They are the worst because they just completely collapse. I mean, I can take my pinky and shove it up into this holster from the backing itself. These are the types of holsters right here. These are the hybrid holsters that, if you ask me, give every other hybrid holster a bad name and what kind of push people away from them, because they're just so weak on the back. I would never carry with something like this. This is something that was sent into the channel for me to review, and I called them up. I said, this is an unsafe holster. You guys need to not make this anymore. This thing right here is going to eventually get somebody hurt. That's what I said to them, and you know, I told them they need to stop, and I haven't seen them anymore, so maybe they went back to the drawing board with these ones. But this is a terrible holster. I wish I remembered the manufacturer, but this was probably more than 2 years ago now that I got this, so I forget who makes it and I don't see a stamp anywhere. But it's just absolutely the worst. It collapses pretty much everywhere. The top sweat guard collapses forward, so as you're, you know, reholstering, this could get drug right in there and cause problems. These are the holsters that you want to watch out for specifically. Now, personally, when I test holsters, I use the same rules all the way across the board. Doesn't matter what it's made out of, Kydex, hybrid, all leather. I look for the same exact things. The first thing that I look for is proper fit. If it's made for that pistol, I want it to fit that pistol, and I want it to have some type of lockup. Again, this is a hybrid holster, but this hybrid holster still has a good lockup. So I know this thing right here, which has no pressure. If I just hold the clips by themselves, this thing's not going anywhere. I don't have to worry about it. It has good retention for the pistol that it was made for. The other thing is, it has to protect the trigger, like we've been talking about this whole time. Doesn't matter what it's made out of. If it doesn't protect that trigger in any way, whether it be a soft backing that allows something in there, or if it has a Kydex shell that will allow something to get inside the trigger, that's not going to be a good holster. It's going to be an unsafe holster. So you want something that has proper fit, proper retention, and something that protects the trigger. There's some wild things out there on the market that are absolutely ridiculous. I'm not sure if it's still out there, but you guys might have seen it. A holster that actually didn't have any trigger protection whatsoever. As a matter of fact, what it was this like pull, and you would take the pull and insert it into the barrel, causing a barrel obstruction right off the bat, right? So you take this pull, you would slide it up into the barrel, and then it had this metal hook that came up the side of the pistol, and then it had like a pocket clip or another hook right here that you'd attach to your belt. And everything else was completely exposed. And they were marketing that, and people bought them, and people carried with them, and that's a scary thought to me. I've seen others that are kind of interesting that just have a little lanyard on them and a little hook or something like that, and then it would just protect the trigger itself. To me, that would be better than just, no protection at all. But still, doesn't matter what it's made out of. It's the same criteria. You want something that fits, you want something that has proper retention, and you want something that protects that trigger. Chances are, if nothing can get into that trigger, you have nothing to worry about. That's the part that activates everything, right? If the trigger is not pulled, then you don't usually have to worry about a bang. I mean, there's some instances in which case you could have a malfunction, an actual mechanical malfunction. But in most instances, and the stats show it, it's perfectly safe to carry as long as nothing gets into that trigger. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with well, this whole swath of type of holster is bad. No, just like everything else, there's good and bad holsters. It's just a good idea to test what you have to make sure that it is good. If you have a holster that is, like this is a hidden hybrid holster right here, and if I push into it, you can see how thick it is right there. It's a nice thick leather. I'm not going to have a worry about it. But again, if you pick up something like we showed a little bit earlier, and this is something maybe you've been carrying with for even up to a year, and you go boop, and the whole thing collapses, I would just get rid of it. To be honest with you, I'd throw it in a bin, I'd throw it in a drawer, and I would get something that's better. That's a great way to test it. Doesn't matter if it's leather or if it's one of these crappy materials right here, just give it a test. If it seems like it's thin or flimsy, just toss it all together. Trust me, it's not worth it. It's not worth the liability that you have, obviously, because you're responsible for everything that leaves that barrel, right? And you don't want to injure somebody else, and then, you know, one, you feel bad for the person that you injured, but at the same time, you're liable for whatever they come after you for. So safety is going to be key regardless of what type of material you get. So again, it's just about being an informed consumer all the way across the board. It's just about not falling for the gimmicks while at the same time getting something that works for you. If you feel most comfortable just carrying a Kydex, only carry a Kydex. If you feel most comfortable with only carrying leather, carry leather. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to your comfort level, right? It's up to you to decide what works best for you, but at the same time, just make sure whatever you choose is something that's safe and of good quality. So anyway, just wanted to make that video to kind of inform people on exactly what to look for and what to look out for as well. Thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. You guys have a great day.